Hi, everyone. Thank you again for tuning in to another episode right here on the Power of Percentage podcast. I'm your host, R.L. Grant Sr. I want to thank you for taking some time out to watch this video. As always, if you get something out of it, if you feel it has some merit, if you feel it's touched you or motivated you in any type of way, please like, subscribe, share the video. Uh, I move when God tells me to move. I really didn't want to do this today, of all days. I really was hesitant about coming on, but it pushed me so much. And as always, when God tells me to do it, I'm going to do it and see where it goes from there. And if you've watched some of the previous videos, I've discussed, starting off small and, just taking the first step and going from there. So one major step that we made, we've got a sign made. It'll be hanging up in the back here soon. Maybe that'll make the background look a little bit more presentable. But I'm thankful for small steps. We'll see how it goes from there. But one thing that I really wanted to discuss, and that was so much on my heart today that I couldn't shake it, is the feeling that we get when we let someone else control our emotions. And I have to tell you, that's something that I've really struggled with here lately. We're all going through life, we're all dealing with certain situations, but there are certain moments where I've had to step back, especially here recently, and really talk to God and Him show me how I'm letting someone else control my emotions. Whether I'm upset, whether I'm angry, whether I'm annoyed, whether I'm frustrated. And I think that's something that a lot of us deal with, and thinking about it and going back and forth in my mind about it. One thing that I think, at least for me, and I don't know, how many people watching this have experienced this feeling. But God, I say sometimes it's just unfair. It's just unfair. It's just not fair. I'm trying my best to live for you. I'm doing the best that I know how to do. I'm living my life with to as much as I possibly can to what you would want me to do and how you would want me to live my life. I treat people right. I try my hardest to always do the right thing. God, why is this happening to me? Why is this person being allowed to do this to me? Whatever it is. And the thing that I believe God showed me, especially here recently, sometimes things are allowed to happen to you because God needs you to understand what He's doing for you. Let me say that again. Sometimes God allows things to happen to you so He can show you and allow you to see what He's doing for you. And I'm always transparent, and I say, God, you don't have to show me like that, especially when it seems like, someone else is gaining while, I'm forced to be humble and act within a spirit of humility all of the time. I'm the one that has to bow down. I'm the one that has to say sorry. I'm the one that has to come back. I'm the one. And you know what God showed me, especially with some things that I've gone through recently, and I think there's someone else out there dealing with the same thing. Sometimes the people that you think have the upper hand, that is all they have. Think about that. Sometimes the people that you are in contention with, they know they're wrong. They know they're wrong, but you're expected to bite the bullet, to be humble, to bow down, to apologize. In some cases, what that person is doing or trying to do to you or attempting to do to you to put you in this space where they can tamper and play with your emotions, that is all they have to hold on to. And when I thought about that, it brought a peace over me. Sometimes people aren't going to treat you right. And not just treat you in a manner that is unfair, but expect you to be okay in which with the manner in which they treat you. That's the craziest thing to me. You want to slap me in my face and hurt me, but yet it is expected from you, it's an expectation for me to say, okay, it's all right. You know what? That didn't hurt. You talking behind my back, that didn't hurt. You laughing at me, that didn't hurt. You taking advantage of my good graces, that didn't hurt. And I feel God revealed to me that's all they have. And sometimes God allows you to go through those situations where you feel like you're being unfairly done to show you what He's actually doing for you in the moment and what He's getting ready to do for you in the future. And not just in the present and in future tense, what He's going to do for you, but to show you how far you've come. I'm one. I'm one, and I'm guilty of it. If some things that happened to me in my life happened to me 10 years ago, it wouldn't have been the same response. There would be no God, give me a humble heart. There wouldn't be any of that. If some of the things that has happened with me in relation to people happened to me 5 years ago, there wouldn't be getting on knees praying. There wouldn't be any of that. And being able to stop and say, you know what? God, I need to have a conversation with you. This is unfair. This is not right. And to be able to not just have the conversation, but to accept the answer of humility that He gave you. To be able to accept and acknowledge that the person that's doing this on the opposite end of you, you don't know what they're dealing with. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know the fears that they have. You don't know the depression that they're in. You don't know the tears that they are crying at night. You don't know the anxiety that they're living under. Some of us, even myself included, we've all been at those points where you smile, everyone at work is just joyful, smiling, happy, but on the inside, you're in despair. You're in depression. You're lonely. You've reached a place where you don't see any hope. We A lot of us have experienced that, me included. And what happens if the person that is doing this to you, this unfair treatment to you, what if they're going through that themselves? But from your perspective, all you see is the smile, all you see is the joy, the perceived happiness. What if they're going through that? Think about that. It's hard to do, especially when you know that you're the person being done wrong. And it was hard even for me recently to say, God, you know what? You are right. I don't know what this person is dealing with. God, help them. Help them understand what they're doing. God, change their heart. Whatever they're going through, whatever situation or whatever has happened in their life to put them in a position to treat another human being this way, God, I ask that you fix it for them. Praying that type of prayer and having that type of conversation with God, I'm telling you, it was hard. Everything within me doesn't want to acknowledge their potential hurt and pain that they might be dealing with to cause them to do certain things to other people. The expression goes around, hurting people hurt people. And it's very real. And I just want whoever's listening to this, you're watching this for a reason. Whether you're the person, if you're the person that's being unfairly done, not treated right, ask God, what is He trying to show you? What is He trying to show you that He's doing for you in that moment? Ask Him. I tell you, for me, God has taught me, especially recently, humility, a spirit of humility, a spirit of forgiveness. And I always wondered, in the Bible, it talks about always forgiving, always being a forgiving person. And I said, God, that forgiveness thing, it's tough. And what He shared with me is that it is difficult. It is one of the only actions that continue on forever. With whatever you've connected to that you've had to forgive, it goes on forever. Until you're no longer here, that is something that you're going to have to deal with. Forgiveness is not just a process, it's a lifestyle. That's what He shared with me. It is a way of being, it is an action that you have to constantly be performing. Let me explain it to you the way that it was kind of revealed to me. Somebody steals from you. They steal your belongings. They know they took your stuff, and you know they took your stuff. You pray about it, and you ask God to help you forgive them. And now you're in that process, in that spirit of forgiveness. What happens when you see them again? Do you immediately grab your bag? Do you immediately put away your wallet? Do you hide your jewels? Do you hide your possessions? Or is it another instance where you have to say, God, help me? God, help me forgive this person. And I don't think that that ever goes away, especially when someone has wronged you in a way that touches not just a material possession or your finances, but that has touched your heart. Some of us, we've gone through stuff where we've been hurt so much, it touched who we are at our core. So if you're that person that is being wronged, ask God to show you what he needs you to see in that moment. Because he's trying to do something for you. And what he's showing you in that moment is also going to help you to see where you're going in the future. And if you're the person on the opposite side, and you've done someone wrong, knowingly, sometimes, we as people, we make mistakes because we're people and we unknowingly hurt people. If you're that person, think about what's going on in your life. It's a very real expression. Hurt people, hurt people. Whatever you're dealing with, whatever struggles you're facing, reach out to God and ask him for help. And if you feel like you didn't wrong someone and that they weren't treated unfairly, and you know that that person has an issue with you based on that, ask God to open up your eyes and perspective. Maybe you missed something along the way. Ask God for a spirit of accountability, and he'll show you. And if that's the case, it's never too late to make it right. As long as you have breath in your body, you can make it right. So I just wanted to bring this, today. Like I said, I really didn't want to, but I felt pressed by God to speak on this because I think there's so many people out here going through that. Emotions just in upheaval based on someone else's actions. And rightfully so. Rightfully so. I'm not saying that it's not a need for that or that you're not right in feeling that. But just to share with you what God shared with me. It's not an easy conversation to have with him because 9 times out of 10, you walk away with a completely different perspective. Never in a million years would I have thought that on my own. This person is clearly being unfair to me. Clearly, you know, kind of doing me wrong. Know what the issue is, but I'm thinking about what they're going through and not knowing what they're dealing with. So if this is you, if you're dealing with this, I'm just asking you, reach out to God and ask you for help. Ask him to open your eyes, to give you a spirit of humility, of humbleness. And you know me personally, when I try to apply that spirit of humility, for some crazy reason, my anger is removed. My frustration is dampened. My confusion on the situation clears up because I'm not focused on what was done wrong to me, but wanting the right thing to happen for them. So if you're dealing with something like this, if you're going through something like this, just reach out to God and ask him for help. And there's no mystery surprise way. Just talk out to the Lord. Tell him you need help. Talk out to God. I speak to God the same way that I'm speaking to you. He'll reach you where you're at. And he knows you better than you know yourself. Reach out to him. Stop letting people have control of your emotions. And something else that I'm going to probably be covering here soon is how our finances have control of our emotions. It's a very weird concept, a very weird perspective, but it's very true. And I really want to dig deep into that. The emotional tie our money has on us, and the different stages of it, and the different levels that come with it. But I wanted to share this with you today. Again, if you got something out of it, if it touched you, if you feel like someone might need it, please like, subscribe, share. We're still on this journey building this into whatever God would have it to be. When he says move, I'm going to move. Thank you. Uh, I appreciate you taking some time out to watch this. We're on the road to 10 million subscribers. I'm speaking it into existence. That's what I feel in my heart with this. 10 million subscribers. I don't know how it's coming. I'm just going to do what God tells me to do, but that's what we're on the road to. So I hope that you continue along with this. Have a great day.